From Mario to Master Chief.
That game is awesome.
8-bit to high def.
Hadouken!
The battle is on.
It's one team trying to beat the other team.
Heroes versus assassins.
Finish him! Finish him! Finish him!
Legends versus monsters.
She's the toughest bad guy in the game.
I gotta thank these little digital guys with the big hearts. Does it feel good to be a champion? Yeah.
Boom shakalaka.
We're counting down the top 100 video games of all time.
Cool. Mario Brothers is basically like a quest on acid.
Just last night, I was lost in the jungle with Pitfall Harry.
I love shooters.
Best game of all time's Mario Party.
Skyrim is a way of life.
Best game of all time.
That's the game we used to play a lot.
Portal is the best game on the planet.
I got really hooked on that game.
There's only one place to start, and that's at the very beginning of gaming. Number 100 on our countdown is Pong.
I played Pong. I'm old.
I can play Pong.
Really groundbreaking moment for gaming.
Pong is so simple, yet it was so immediately addictive to so many people.
It's amazing how much time you can spend playing a game that's like 3 pixels smashing into each other.
Pong was OG, black and white, beautiful.
Atari's Pong bounced into arcades in 1972 and initiated a seismic shift in entertainment through its sheer popularity.
Pong was one of those first video games that got people into the idea of how you could move something on the screen. For our ancestors in the ancient 20th century, it set the tone for an entire generation of video game.
Pong blew people's minds. Pong.
Man, the graphics still blow me away today. Just black background, white bar, white little ball, just going back and forth.
Do you remember the...
In 1974, Atari brought Pong from the arcade into people's homes.
Pong was the game that started all console games.
It was really the first game that people were playing in their homes. Like really, like, oh my God, video games can be in a home.
You thought it was going to be just a one-time thing. Like, we didn't know it was going to end up leading to all these other games. We just thought it was like, oh, this is cool.
Graphically simple, but simply addictive, Pong was the arcade classic that fueled many gamers' passion, birthed an entire industry, and started a revolution.
Everybody in the world knows what Pong is, and everybody in the world will still play Pong if they get the chance to play Pong. And that's what makes this game so great.
Up next is the game that taught us that za is in fact a real word. At number 99, Words with Friends.
Za is the abbreviation for pizza if it's 1980 and you're in the Breakfast Club.
Released in the summer of 2009 for mobile devices, Words with Friends has now been downloaded over 10 million times.
I'm playing Words with Friends.
Words with Friends is the best idea of taking something everyone plays, like Scrabble, and then just making it digital.
Words with Friends is an epic, bloody battle of Scrabble. No, it's not just Scrabble.
The sad truth for me about Words with Friends is I can't add anybody because I have so many active games already going. It's pathetic.
Oh, Words with Friends. Curse you, Words with Friends.
Yes, I am guilty of Words with Friends.
Ooh, you stole my wife.
Words with Friends is so addictive, Alec Baldwin got kicked off a plane for not shutting off his phone.
I only challenge people that I know I'm smarter than.
I tend to let people, think that I'm not very good, so they beat me a couple of times, and then I come back and hit them with the whammy.
The best is when you have nothing, your hands are empty, it's about to be over for you, and you just push a bunch of crap together and magically make a sandwich. That is my favorite kind of play in Words with Friends.
Words with Friends is a cultural phenomenon and one of the best games of all time. In fact, you're probably playing Words with Friends right now.
I just hit you with jukebox. How about that? You hear that music playing? Yeah, that's me whooping your ass.
Next on our countdown, If you played the Atari 2600, you recognize this sound.
Oh my God, Pitfall.
Pitfall was awesome.
Yep, swinging into the number 98 spot, Pitfall.
Strange fun fact, my first paid gig for acting was a commercial for Pitfall. I had a safari hat on. I was like, just last night I was lost in the jungle with Pitfall Harry.
Pitfall hit the Atari 2600 in 1982 and was an instant smash.
Love Pitfall. Pitfall is incredible.
I remember as a kid just being like, oh my God, this is what this is all about.
It's right when home video games started creating people out of like 4 squares.
I'm a stick guy, and you can see that I have a green shirt and brown pants and shoes.
These 8-bit blocks had us all duped in the 80s to thinking that we were Indiana Jones.
The Indiana Jones-esque Pitfall Harry had to negotiate caverns, chasms, scorpions, snakes, and those damn alligators.
It took me months to realize, oh, I can jump on the crocodile's heads.
It was the adventure. It was amazing.
Loved grabbing the rope and swinging over and be like, da-na-na-na-na-na.
It is the same screen 100 times. And yet, all they had to do to make it different for us was put an alligator, or a vine, or a bar of gold. We were easily entertained in the 80s.
I would play that game for hours.
Next, the game that's hailed as the best basketball game ever, and the finest sports game of its generation. At number 97, NBA 2K11.
To the bucket.
NBA 2K11 is my game.
NBA 2K11, a classic.
This is one of the most realistic basketball games.
The NBA 2K series is probably my favorite video game series of all time.
NBA 2K11 is like the coolest game, the coolest basketball game ever.
Over Allen. Yes!
2K11 gave basketball fans and sport game lovers alike the action, interactivity, and attention to detail that they crave.
They graphics, and they just make the game real.
The design and the game flow, the graphics, the movements into dunks, the crossover dribbles, it's all so seamless.
You know, that's when everybody had their custom shots. You had Rondo with the fake behind-the-back passes. I mean, you got Dirk Nowitzki, you got fade away. You know, Kevin Durant got the dribble, shimmy, shake, pulling out.
NBA 2K is so realistic, like, I couldn't keep Yao on the court for more than 2 games in a row.
Jordan may have been on the cover, but 2K11 fans knew who to play as if you wanted to dominate the game.
Cheating with LeBron. It ain't really cheating because he on the game, so he on the game like everybody else, so I like playing with Miami Heat.
You call it having LeBron James on your team cheating? Like, that's crazy. I mean, he's a real, you know, that's what he do in real life.
But I don't think nobody topped LeBron on that game. You know, they said 99, but he played like 199. Like, there was nothing he couldn't do. He catch fire, he hit everything.
You can't worry about what LeBron is doing or worry about they blowing out. You play your game. That's what wins.
Regardless who you choose to play as, NBA 2K11 provides fans with unforgettable basketball action.
I beat Justin Bieber on that game. I beat Sean Kingston on that game. All of my friends, I beat them. NBA 2K11 is a classic.
Coming up next.
I don't know how the hell they were warped back to the top.
We warp back in time to blast away at the arcade.
Everyone loved Galaga.
And take the controls of a game that made you actually root for the Empire.
I don't think anybody expected that, and that's what made the game awesome.
Plus, the blockbuster that taught you how to shred like a rock god.
Now you're unbelievable at that. You're better than Slash at his own song.
But first, what artist has the most songs in Guitar Hero 1 and 2? The answer after the break.